Hello, everyone. I am Sean, and welcome once again to my Horror Corner. As always, I know I repeat myself every time, but thank you so much for watching today. I really do appreciate that. For those of you that have hit the subscribe button, a special thank you to you. And I said it in my last recording as well, but I'm going to say it again. I want to give a shout out to Ryan. Ryan does a lot of moderating and stuff for live. He has asked me if I ever start going live, if he could moderate for me, and he was doing something for someone's channel the other day and even started talking about my channel on there and promoting it. So thank you so much, Ryan. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Today we have got some guests on. Some of I feel like I don't know. I almost feel like some of my best friends, even though I've never met them personally. But we've got Brendan and Sam from Our Life in Horror. Brendan, Sam, thank y'all for coming on.
Hey,
Thanks for having
yeah,
us.
thank you so
The
much.
feeling's mutual.
That's very kind of y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah, I remember when I first came across you guys, I was just getting started. I had just started doing YouTube stuff a little bit, listening to horror podcasts, and I think I came across you on Twitter is where I saw you initially, and so then ended up looking up your podcast and listening to it a little bit and reaching out to you guys, and yeah, it feels like it's been forever ago, but I guess it's really only been a little over a year, maybe 2 years. I don't know.
Probably three.
Has
What?
it been that long?
No, not three. It's probably been two because
Okay.
we have been YouTubing for a year now, just over a year.
Hmm.
We did our 1 year anniversary thing, and then before that, we podcasted for a year and a half. And I feel like you
Okay.
found us pretty early on into our podcasting. Like,
I
I
think
don't think
so.
we were
Yeah.
doing it for a crazy long time, so it's
Okay.
got to be like 2 years, I'd say.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but we've
Well,
done a
very
lot
cool.
together, so.
We
Yeah.
have. Yeah, that's true. It's always been fun, though. I love having you guys on. So, yeah, so tell everybody. I mean, I'm sure anyone that listens to me has probably already heard of you guys. I talk about you guys on some of my episodes, but tell everyone about your channel and what's coming up on Our Life in Horror.
Yeah, we do lots of live shows. We just took 2 weeks off because I was away. You were doing a few, but we're gonna try and get back at it heavy here, I think. Lots of live shows. We're counting Brendan's complete physical media collection, going through every single movie, talking about everyone,
Yep.
counting how many we've seen as well. We review movies, we talk horror news in our horror hangouts. Sometimes we'll do like game lives where we do like
Trivia.
trivia or battle brackets or
Yeah.
we try to hit up the new movies too in theaters and do reviews on those pre-recorded.
Video nasties.
Yeah, we
We
just
we
started
just
that.
started that. We also started a segment this year called "He Made Me Watch" and "She Made Me Watch."
Yeah.
Those have
We're
been
gonna
pretty
try
good,
to,
actually.
yeah, we're gonna continue to try to keep those going. Somebody's a
Yeah,
little hard to keep her wanting to go forward, but
I know he's making me watch an American Werewolf in London next. I think the channel
Okay.
members voted for that.
yes, they did.
And it's just like some movies I just don't have much interest in, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, let's just say my first one was really disheartening for me
Yeah, if
and
you want
her.
to see me break his heart, go watch our Terminator review.
Yeah.
I remember that one. I saw that one. I was a little bit shocked. I mean, I'm not surprised you didn't love it. I was surprised how much you dislike it.
Just not an action girly.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. All right. Well, yeah. So today we are going to be talking about Hatchet. I'm sure you probably have this, Brendan. I have it on Blu-ray. I don't know if it's available on 4K. I only have it on Blu-ray.
No, so they did a re-release Blu-ray collection for a steelbook, but I only have these on DVD.
Okay.
The steelbook I think is sitting around $89 on Amazon right now currently. And yeah, I don't think I would upgrade until maybe the 4K.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm not going to pay 89 for that one. So interesting. Brendan and I were talking before we started recording. We both have a couple of other things we're going to show here real quick. I'll show mine first, and then I'll let him show his. I try to show collectible stuff from time to time as I pick it up. So the only thing I have of Victor Crowley, our character from Hatchet, is this Toonie Terrors. These look kind of silly, but at the same time, I think they're so cool. I have Victor Crowley, Michael Myers, Jason, Ghostface, Chucky. I have so many of these, but yeah, I managed to find this one. It's hard to find a lot of his stuff around here, but I don't know. I kind of thought this was cool looking, so I picked it up. But what have you got there, Brendan?
I do love the Toonie Terrors. I think they're a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
actually don't have any. I really would like to start collecting their lineup, but I got the NECA figure.
Okay, very cool.
I don't know where you even got this for me,
I,
or was this a convention buy?
no, I got it for you. I think someone on Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
I think I went out to Cambridge to get it or something. Someone was selling it, so
I like that. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I should start checking Facebook Marketplace more often. I always forget to look there.
yeah, I usually do around Christmas time for him, and I'll find some random shit. And this was one of
Okay.
them. I'm like, score.
Well, and before we get started, you guys just I know Brendan asked you if you had got it at a convention or something like that. That reminds me, I am finally about to get to go to my first horror con. I
Woohoo.
cannot
Yes.
believe I've never been to one, but I haven't. It just things keep happening and it doesn't work out. But we've got one coming here to Oklahoma in 2 months, and I already have my tickets, so I'm pretty excited. I'm super pumped to go. Right now,
Before-
I'm trying to think. I know Nick Castle, Doug Bradley, Skeet Ulrich, Barbara Crampton,
nice.
multiple people from the Terrifier franchise, although not yet, not Art himself and not Selena, but just about anybody else that's been in that franchise is supposed to be there. And then, yeah, a few other ones as well. So I'm super excited. It's
That's
2 months away,
exciting.
and I just needed to get here really quick.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're gonna have a
Yeah.
blast. Do
Absolutely.
you,
Oh, yeah,
do you
I'm really
know
looking forward to it.
anyone else in the horror community that's gonna be there too? Like that you're gonna meet up with or anything? Or
No, not yet. Because I haven't really, the people that I've met on social media from the horror community, I think there's only one person that's here in the same state that I'm in. Everybody else is pretty spread out, so
yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be there or not. I haven't got a chance to talk to them yet, but yeah, I'm just super excited to go and trying to save up some money over the next couple of months because I'm sure it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be fun. So
Yeah, bring as
Yeah.
much as you can and take
Abs-
lots of pictures. I'm so excited to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Well, we'll get back on track now. We will be talking about Hatchet from 2006. Real quick, I'm going to give a brief overview of the film. I'm sure everybody knows what it's about, but just in case. So, college students Ben and Marcus are in New Orleans enjoying Mardi Gras when they decide to go on a boat tour of an allegedly cursed bayou. Meeting up with several other tourists, they are entertained by their guide, who tells them tales of a ghostly serial killer who wanders the swamp. They laugh off the stories until someone starts picking off members of the group one by one. Fairly accurate overview. A little different than what I actually thought, but yeah, fairly accurate. Film was released April 27th, 2006 at the Tribeca Film Festival, and then September 7th, 2007 here in the U.S. Directed and written by Adam Green, produced by Corey Neal, Scott Altamar, and Sarah Elbert. Cinematography by Will Barrett, edited by Christopher Roth. Music by Andy Garfield, distributed by Anchor Bay Entertainment in the U.S. and then Echo Bridge Entertainment internationally. Runtime of 83 minutes. $1.5 million budget. Box office of only 208,000. Rotten Tomatoes scores 57% from critics, 45% from the audience, and has an IMDb rating of 5.7 out of 10. Before I go any further, are you guys surprised by the box office number, or not necessarily?
What was the number again? Sorry.
The budget was 1.5. The box office is 208,000. So it didn't do well at the box office. Does that surprise you?
I don't know because this came out a while ago. Like I didn't. What year is this again? 2000.
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
you
you're
just
good.
fed us a lot of information.
Yeah, I went there kind of quickly too. So
I wasn't really into horror movies during that time period yet, or maybe I was just getting into it, so I don't know really what the theaters were like for horror. So I'm not too sure personally. I can't really say.
Okay. Well, we got to think about what was going on in the popular horror film goers here at this time. I do think that this is. I was actually going to say this later. I do think this is like the right slasher movie, just at the wrong time, because The first Saw movie was what, 2002, 2003,
Yeah, I
and
think
it
so too.
just it ran a horror movie every year for the next 8 years, basically.
Right.
And Hostel, you had two, and then later on, you got a lot of ghost, Paranormal Activity was 2008, so that wasn't maybe not quite yet, but around this time, there was just a lot of torture porn and horror remakes coming around. I do remember when this came out.
You do?
Yeah, I don't remember specifically like ever seeing the trailer, but I remember seeing the original like DVD cover
Okay.
at
Okay.
a Future Shop. Hey, old Canadians, remember Future Shop? That used to be a thing here. But yeah, I remember that flying around. But yeah, this is a low budget. I think it was
Yeah.
probably edged out by a lot of the Platinum Dune remakes coming out around the time, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, Piranha. There's a lot of remakes coming out at this time.
Yeah, I didn't get into horror until maybe a year or two after this came out, so I don't remember how it was advertised or anything like
Okay.
that. Like, I don't remember this movie at all. You showed me this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, like
Like its original tagline on the DVD cover was like it's like a classic 80s slasher, is it not, or something
I
along
think
those
so.
lines?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Yeah, so that can either throw people off or get people like super pumped. But we were just talking about in our last video about how slashers now seem to be making a comeback. Um, they all seem to
Yeah.
be in theaters. They all seem to be getting pushed really hard by studios. Whereas in the last decade, there hasn't really been anything else like that.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I do think it was the right movie for the wrong time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. I think the only thing that surprises me about it, because I pretty much agree with everything you said. I think the only thing that surprises me that it didn't do a little bit better is just the cast, because you've got so many. Well, I say so many. You've got three horror icons in this. You've got Kane Hodder, Robert Englund, and Tony Todd, and I'm surprised that in itself just didn't pull more people in.
I think I think
Because
we've
that's what got
learned.
my attention.
I think I definitely think we've learned, just because it has big budget like cult following like horror actors doesn't mean it's always going to be a good movie.
Mhm.
No, that's very
Uh,
true as well. I just remember that's what got my attention when I first heard about the movie, is looking and seeing who was in it. And I was, before I had seen a trailer or anything else, I was like, oh, I want to see this just because of these guys. So, but yeah, you're right. That doesn't always mean anything. So, and I've started looking at this. I don't pay a lot of attention to what critics say, but on Rotten Tomatoes, there's always this summary. It's like a critics consensus. And so I read that. It says that it's got Hatchet is over the top gore, campy acting, and dim cinematography. It may be part of Hatchet's self described old school character, but irony alone cannot sustain a horror film. Basically, critics not a fan at all of this one. So, cast real quick, and then we'll kind of talk about the cast. Joel David Moore is Ben, Tamara Feldman as Mary Beth, Dion Richmond as Marcus, Mercedes McNabb as Misty, Perry Shin as Sean, Jolie Feverant as Jenna, Joel Murray as Doug, Richard Reel as Jim Parmetto, Patrika Darbo as Shannon Parmetto, and then of course Tony Todd as Reverend Zombie, Robert England as Samson, and Kane Hodder plays Victor Crowley and Mr. Crowley. Um, what did you guys think as far as the cast, the acting, characters, all of that kind of overall?
I like the cast. I really like. I pulled up the cast here too, and I already
Sure.
forget their names. But the main guy, Ben, and his
Yeah.
friend Marcus, I really enjoy them. And then of course Tony Todd. You have to love him too.
Yeah.
I I like the girl. We talk about this all the time.
yeah, we
The
do.
girl that plays Mary Beth. And it's funny because I read before that they originally wanted Danielle Harris in the first movie and then decided that she was I don't know why I read this, but something about her being too big of a name to be in the movie or something, but then they changed their mind in the second movie. I know I'm
Okay.
jumping ahead. We're going to talk about the
No,
second
that's
movie
okay.
in a while.
Yeah.
But I'm like, they should have just done it then and not done the actress change, in my opinion. But I actually do prefer this actress in this first movie, so I did
Okay.
really like her. Yeah, Brendan.
I like the cast as well. I do think Marcus is basically doing like his best like Chris Tucker.
It does seem like a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. And he even like throws a comment too about Chris Tucker out throughout the movie, and I'm like, it seems like you're just trying to beat Chris Tucker right now. I do like the actor that plays Ben. He's like a big comedic actor. You've seen him in like lots of stuff. I was actually thinking like while I was watching the movie that like this is probably one of Sam's weird crushes from back in the day that I don't know about yet. You know, like one of those weird crushes she's got. He's probably it.
I actually don't know what else he's in.
He's in Grandma's Boy. He plays the big tech billionaire guy that like created a video game at a really young age. He's super weird in that one. If you've ever seen Grandma's Boy,
Shark Night. Have you seen Shark Night, Sam? You like shark movies?
Yeah. Oh,
He's in Shark Night. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, no, he wasn't one of my weird crushes.
Oh, okay.
I feel like if maybe I seen this movie back then he would have been because I like him in this movie. But
yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Mary Beth. I think she's a fine actress. I don't think she's particularly written very well in this movie, which is something we'll get into with her character, because I do think my opinion has changed on her a little bit in this film.
Okay.
I think Sean, like Perry Shen, is like a fucking show stealer. I absolutely love him.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, and Tony Todd just gives out this. In the short amount of screen time he just chews up every scene with this little monologue, and you think it's going to lead to something horrific. And it's like, I got fucking sued. And that's just like masterful. Love it. It's so theatrical.
Yeah.
You know, so Tony Todd is the fucking man in this movie.
I agree. Yeah, I like everybody as well. And I think everybody does a fine job. I mean, I don't, nobody's going to win an Oscar out of this, but I mean, they all do a good job at what they're given, I feel like. And I don't really think there's anybody, I take that back. There's probably only one character that I was not a fan of, and that's the Shapiro guy, the agent or pretend agent, basically is what he was. But I mean, even him, it's not that the actor does a bad job. It's just that character's not cool. But other than that, I like it. I think everybody did a good job.
I mean, is he a fake agent? Because the one old man has heard of Bayou Beaver.
Yeah,
right, which that scene cracks me up. But there is a part, I think the guys just heard of that channel, but they find his, after getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but when Shapiro gets killed, they find his wallet, and he's got like multiple IDs in there. And he's got a driver's license with a completely different name, and then just this one card where he's this agent. So, I assume he was a fake agent.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to defend this guy, but
no. I like the old couple too.
I do too.
Yeah.
The old couple's really great, and I don't know who that old man is, but he has been in everything too. And he's got this recognizable face, and I can't remember anything else he's been in.
Yeah, but you've seen him. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I also want to not forget Kane Hodder. Like, I like that he plays not only Victor Crowley, but he plays his dad as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, very cool. The film went on to spawn 3 sequels, which we are all going to cover those a little bit over time. It also spawned a comic book series, and that was a question I had for you, Brendan, being a collector and that kind of thing. And I know, I think you are kind of a fan of some of the like superhero comic stuff. Did you ever get into horror comics?
No, I seem to have missed the boat on a lot of horror comics. Like there was a Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comic book series that ran early, and same with like The Walking Dead, and 30 Days a Night was the other one I was thinking of. But no, I missed the boat. I've seen like superhero stuff, like I watch all the movies and then I'll watch videos on the lore or like stuff like that. With horror, I tend not to watch get any of the comic books. I can't start collecting the comic books because then there'll just be no room for anything back here. I'll be super sewered. So yeah, comic books I think are off the table.
Okay. I was just curious. I have a few. I have very few actually. I think I have one Nightmare on Elm Street comic, and then I have 4 or 5 from The Walking Dead. I've never read the Nightmare on Elm Street one. It was a gift, and I thought it looked pretty cool. The artwork on it is really cool, so I put it with my Freddy stuff. I was reading. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Walking Dead stuff, so I after watching that, I went back and started trying to read those. And I got, like I said, about 4 or 5 in, and then just kind of fell off. I mean, they were fine, but it just wasn't the same as
They're
far
like
as I was concerned.
they're like Bibles, man. There's like
Yeah.
four Bibles you got to read of The Walking Dead in order to finish the entire series. It's just too much.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. A couple of behind the scenes things I wanted to mention before we actually start walking through the film, just because I'm kind of curious to see you guys' thoughts on this first one. So I saw that Adam Green got the idea for Victor Crowley when he attended a camp at the age of 8 years old. Counselors were warning the kids to stay away from a certain cabin or old Hatchet face would get them. Green loved horror movies even as a child and created the backstory for Victor Crowley and then used it years later for his film. What the hell kind of camp is this where counselors are telling kids that Hatchet Face is going to get them? I just cannot imagine that flying nowadays. I was like, seriously, this happens?
Yeah, I would have been terrified. I did go to summer camp, like overnight camp, and the first night I was homesick crying and like I had to call my mom and everything. And that wasn't because I was told a scary story. I was just homesick. So if someone told me that story, I would have ran away.
I think
Yeah, that would have freaked me out as a kid, I think, especially at age 8. I mean, that's just crazy to me that I mean, I get it, different times, but yeah, I just thought that was crazy that they actually did that because that would not fly today.
I think it's just a rite of passage almost, you know? Like you have to if you're around the campfire and you have to hear a scary story.
I guess there's campfire
Okay.
scary stories and stuff.
Yeah,
So I
like
guess it's not that far fetched,
like we
but
used to bring scary like I was a Boy Scout. So I used to bring yeah, scary story books or I'd tell them like I remember one thing I vividly told, which was Wrong Turn. I told
Okay.
all my other group friends about like the story
the
of
story of Wrong
the
Turn.
first Wrong Turn movie. And they were like, dude, like I can't believe you remember all that information. I'm like, yeah, I watch it a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so yeah,
That's
I think it's just a rite of passage. And yes, it is a different time, unfortunately. So
Yeah,
you might not
I mean,
get
I
that
guess I could
anymore.
get it. I never went to a camp or anything like that. I mean, I've been camping with friends and I could see us sitting around telling scary stories and stuff, but just not coming from a counselor. I feel like these days there would be a lot of pissed off parents making phone calls and throwing fits if somebody did something like that. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, times have changed. Only other behind the scenes thing I have is just to get financing for the film because Green did not have it. So to get financing for the film, the cinematographer Will Barrett just used shots that he had filmed of a swamp tour, and then they used producer Sarah Elbert's daughter did narration of Crowley's backstory, and they shot this together as a teaser. The teaser trailer received widespread praise, and that's how Green received the funding for the film. Um, I just thought that was kind of cool. And
Mhm.
this is a low budget movie, but I just thought that was kind of cool the way he came up with it, that they went ahead and shot a teaser trailer before they really had money to do anything. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're going to start walking through this a little bit. I broke my notes down into a few sections, but if we start talking and get ahead of ourselves, that's perfectly fine. The film starts with the opening. We get Samson, played by Robert Englund, and his son, and they're out there hunting alligators. His son needs to, go to the bathroom, and while he's gone, Samson gets killed off screen. His son returns, and then he gets killed by this unseen assailant. What did you guys think about this opening?
I like the opening. I mean, you got Robert Englund in there, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely got Robert Englund chewing it up. I think I can't remember what the brother's name was. I want to say it's Agnes for some reason, but it's not.
it's something
Um,
like that. I should have wrote it down. It starts with an A. That's all I
yeah.
remember.
But his kill is just like brutal. So you know immediately what kind of movie you're getting in for.
Hmm. And I like that it like ties into the main storyline because Mary Beth's going to look for them. You don't realize that at first until she mentions
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it as well, and I agree with you, Brendan. That's what I was going to say. I think it just sets you up for what you're getting yourself into. You're going to get into some very over the top gore and crazy deaths, and that's what this is basically. So, I like the setup. And then we get the introduction to Ben and Marcus. Some of this cracks me up. They're going back and forth, and Ben obsessed with his ex, and everything that's going on there, and then them. They decide to go on their swamp tour. That's where we get Tony Todd as Reverend Zombie coming in and stealing the show for a little while. Um, we kind of already talked about the actors a little bit, but um, they decide to go on this tour guide. They meet Sean, and then they meet the other people as well. The Parmettos, the agent, Misty, Jenna, Mary Beth. Um, Anything in particular from the film that you want to point out as far as any characters or things like that? I know Brendan earlier you mentioned we would get into the character of Mary Beth earlier. So anything that stood out to you guys about any of these characters?
I love this Mardi Gras opening. Like the song that's playing, I don't even know what the song is, but
It's like the opening credits.
yeah,
It's Marilyn Manson.
I love it. I love the music. I love all the
Yeah.
colors. You got tits everywhere. And I absolutely love that Ben goes, "Aren't you guys tired of looking at boobs?" And all their faces just look at him and they're like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck do you mean?"
Right.
I love Ben and how he's just like hung up on this girl. Like I just love the introduction of these characters.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I think Adam Green is the guy that's passed out drunk, right?
Is it? Okay.
I think that's right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's a good opening for everybody. I do love, like, for everybody that hasn't seen the movie and you don't know who Sean is in the movie. He's an Asian, but he has like this thick Southern accent on,
Yes.
which just totally goes against his character, but it's so funny. And yeah, you got Tony Todd too, Reverend Zombie.
I love his outfit.
Yeah, and this big, like, yeah, it's theatrical. That's all I can say. It's like so over the top and so funny. But his monologue about why he doesn't do the night tours anymore is it starts out so creepy because you're so excited to hear what happened, and it just turns out he got sued, and he ends it with, "Be careful on my sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like, don't slip and fall, because if you slip and fall, you're probably gonna fucking sue me."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of good like little subtle jokes like that and stuff. And Ben and Marcus's back and forth for the most part, it does work throughout most of the movie.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so
and
too.
I really like their friendship too, because like he says, like, "Aren't you guys tired of looking at boobs or whatever?" You can tell Marcus really wants to stay, but just the fact that he goes on this stupid swamp tour with his friend because he's heartbroken shows
Yeah.
his character. Like they're besties, and he's gonna go and support him. He's
Yeah.
gonna leave all the party for the swamp.
Yeah. No, I agree with you guys. I'm with you, Sam. I really like the song. I watched it. I mean, I'd seen this movie. I've seen this multiple times actually. I watched it a couple of days ago, and then I just got a dear friend of mine just bought me a new sound system, sound bar for my birthday, and so I got it this morning and got it all hooked up, and I was like, okay, I was testing it out. I'm like, this sounds great. What do I want to watch first? Like, what do I want to put on and check this thing out? And I still had Hatchet laying there, so I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll put it in again. I'll be talking about it later today. And when I put it in and that music kicks in on this new sound bar, I was like, okay, wait, this is really fucking cool. Like I may have to back this up and watch this opening again. So, yeah, I love the opening. I love the music. I like Ben and Marcus's interaction. Um, Again, Tony Todd, great as Reverend Zombie. We keep talking about that. I do like the tour guide Sean. I think he's super funny. And again, I kind of liked, with the exception of the agent guy, and even at this point, I don't think I really disliked him. He was just probably the one person that didn't stand out to me. But I kind of like all of the cast. The one girl, the blonde, Misty, so over the top stupid, but still funny. I think she's hilarious. And one thing that's kind of changed about my opinion of this, and I don't know why I'm about to bring this up, but for some reason, I thought I remembered the first time I watched this film, those two girls being incredibly trashy. Upon my rewatch a couple of days ago and then again this morning, they're not quite as trashy as I thought they were. I'm curious what you guys think. And I actually found myself thinking Jenna was hot, and I was like, "Oh wow, I have issues." But yeah, what did you guys think? Are these two trashy or are they not trashy?
It's so funny that you say that because I remember thinking they were really annoying.
Okay,
Um, and this time around, there were times I thought they were annoying, but there were times I actually thought they were kind of funny. So I guess
okay,
my opinion has changed a little bit too.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like Misty does by the end of the movie start to get on my nerves a little bit.
okay,
Jenna, I thought was a pretty decent actress, and she looks so familiar. She's had to have been in something else that I've seen, but maybe it's just this one movie. But Jenna, I didn't think was trashy. Misty, I definitely thought she was probably more of the trashy one.
okay. Fair enough.
You
I liked
slut.
the
Yeah,
interaction between Marcus and Jenna there too, when he's hitting on her a little bit when they're on the boat. I thought that was funny as well. So
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah,
Um, so then we move on. We get to where they're actually taking their swamp tour now. They get warned by Jack Cracker to not go on and to stop. The hermit there, he's funny as well, I think. You get a lot going on then from Sean, the tour guide, trying to tell them stories and everybody picking holes in his stories and him getting frustrated, which cracks me up. Of course, they hit this rock, they start to sink. I think at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit ahead of myself here. So the first time I watched this, I remember not being that big a fan, to be honest. I was like, okay, the gore is so over the top and looks so fake, and yeah, it had some great people in it, but this is just not what I was expecting this to be. So I just kind of wrote it off for the longest time. It's like, yeah, okay, Hatchet was disappointing. I didn't really like that. Um, and then I saw, I don't remember. I think I was probably hanging out with my brother because he likes horror movies, and I think he was watching it, and so I just kind of watched a little bit of it with him, and I found myself laughing a lot more this time, just at some of the interaction between the characters and some of the things that were going on. And so I decided to go back and rewatch it. And I almost feel like every time I watch this movie, I like it more. Um, the kills, yeah, I mean, we'll get into the kills here in just a few minutes. They are kind of over the top and crazy looking, but I just think the characters, as we've talked about, are so likable, and there's so much. There's a lot of good humor in this that kind of keeps it going until those kills start. So this movie has, yeah, it grows on me every time I watch it. Um, where are you guys at with your first impression of the film, and then going back and watching it now?
I'm a little bit of the opposite. The first time I
Okay,
watched it, I loved this movie.
hmm
And then the second time I still loved it. This time I enjoyed it. I like the kills actually. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, that and the humor. But and the backwoodsy feel, I guess. I don't know if it I've just been tired lately from my trip, so I don't know if that's affecting my movie viewing experiences. Because we even went and saw Clown in a Cornfield, which should have been my type of movie, and I was just like, about it. So
hmm
I don't know if I'm
okay,
just really tired. Could also be we watched it during the day, which I'm more of a nighttime movie girl. I like during
okay,
the day when I watch a movie, I feel like I need to be getting up and doing something, and I'm a little more on edge. And I'm like, man, I don't want to be sitting here watching a movie. Like I want to do something. Like I want to be outside or whatever. But so maybe that affected it too. I don't know. I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't as much as my first few times.
Okay.
okay. Brendan,
So I really enjoyed it my first watch and second watch with you. And then when we did it for the podcast, I remember throwing some shade on it, so I didn't like it as much.
Mhm.
And then this time, I actually liked it a little bit better.
Okay,
okay.
so you're going up and down.
Yeah, so I'm like I'm fluctuating with this movie. I don't know why either.
This
But
makes me really excited to visit the rest of the franchise, though, I do have to say.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, me too. Because I do know they go bigger, and except for that every one seems to you know escalate. But yeah, this one I felt like the last time my main issues was that it felt like a lot of rinse and repeat, and maybe the jokes weren't landing with me like they did this time. Because I don't remember laughing at all at anything Misty said the last viewing. and I actually laughed a few times this time. So I don't know why, but some of the things she said I laughed at. Yeah, I don't know why my enjoyment all of a sudden was higher this time around.
I think for me, I'm like you. I don't think the jokes landed for me the first couple of times I saw it, and they just land so much better now for some reason. I laughed more a couple of days ago watching this, and then again rewatching it this morning than I ever did when I saw it the first few times. They just everything hit a lot better, and I think I do like the kills now. I didn't the first few times I saw it. I love them now. Yeah, they're over the top and kind of crazy, but I think they're so much fun. The kills are kind of great in this. I think I think I had a different expectation when I saw it, a long time ago. I was expecting um, maybe a Friday the 13th like film, or like you said, when it came out, we had the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre and some of that stuff that was going around that I really, really enjoyed. And so this just didn't compare, I felt like, to any of that at the time. But now I go back and I just have a much more appreciation for it. And I just think this movie is um, so much fun all the way around. So I think that's why it's grown for me. And yeah, I've I'll be honest, this one I've seen several times, the sequels that we will get to. I think I've only seen each one of them once. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to going back and watching those again.
Yeah, me too. Because I think I've only seen the sequels maybe twice, and one of those watches was with you.
Yeah, I think I've only seen him once.
Victor Crowley, I've only seen once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and so then, I won't go through each one of the kills, but shit hits the fan now, and then they start getting knocked off one by one. Um, do you guys have a favorite kill? Whether it's the older couple gets killed first, I believe, and then it's Shapiro. I think after that, I think it's Jenna and Sean are the next two to go. Um, and they're all just graphic and over the top. Do you have a favorite kill in the movie?
I think either Jenna. I like how he goes for her mouth, and then her mouth is just all hanging and bloody.
The sander.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
the jaw rip is just iconic.
Yeah. It's the old lady kill with that iconic jaw rip, and the camera spin around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a kill you can never get out of your head.
It's definitely the one I think of when I think of the Hatchet franchise or just slasher kills in general.
Yeah.
It's one of the
Right.
ones I always think of.
Mm-hmm. I even like Shapiro's kill too. Like he's got the slow head full turn 360 around.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good kill too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's the old lady's kill is my favorite as well. Because if I remember correctly, once he does rip her head in half like that, don't you still see her tongue sticking up, moving around? Yeah, it's just so crazy, but it's so fun, and yeah, it's hard to forget. I do like Jenna's kill as well. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here though, because I want to know. You guys both kind of teased me with something in the beginning, and you haven't really mentioned much about her so far. So I'm gonna skip ahead of myself here. I want to know what you both think about Mary Beth. Sam, I know you said you really like her. Brendan, you mentioned that we would get into her more. So I want to know your thoughts on Mary Beth.
I think Mary Beth goes through. She starts out in the opening as this badass, and then there's a small part of the movie where she doesn't quite reach that level of badass, and then all of a sudden she becomes a badass again.
Okay.
And I just feel like there shouldn't have been, because it almost gives a moment for Ben to rise up, right, and become this strong male figure, I guess. But I feel like if Mary Beth just would have been solid, strong female character all the way through the movie, I would have liked her a lot better.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and for some reason that was just a weird choice for me. For
She's going through a lot.
I know, but
I get it. I know what you mean. You want your final girl to be like,
yeah, the girl came prepared with the gun and everything. Like she was already mentally prepared for what was about to happen. Maybe not to the full extent of what actually happens, but it just kind of threw me off that because I don't remember ever really her having all these doubts when watching the film the last time.
okay.
So this time I was like, oh, well, that's kind of random. I wasn't expecting that.
Okay.
Mhm. What are your
Tim,
thoughts?
anything different you want to add?
No, I think I liked her just as much as in the past. Like I'm still sticking with she's going through a lot, so I can give her that, I guess. Like she does find her dad and brother slaughtered.
Right. So most of the time, this is funny because most of the time, I feel like when we're talking about different things, Brendan says something and I'm like, oh yeah, I 100% agree. This is one of the rare times that I disagree. So I actually like the vulnerable part that she hits mid movie, because you mentioned that she was prepared for this. I don't think she was. I think she thought she was. She was
Mhm.
worried about her father. She's worried about her brother. She's angry. She's got this gun and she thinks she's going to go out there and take care of this. And then once she gets there and the reality of what's happening hits her, she's like, oh shit, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know what to do. And she gets scared. And to me, that's almost
Human.
somewhat relatable. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's human. It's very relatable. Like you might think you're ready for something, and then you get in the middle of it, and you're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
People being
I mean,
killed all around her
yeah, I
brutally.
mean, I can relate that. I've been married a couple of times, and both times I thought I was ready, and then I got in the middle of it and was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" So, yeah, and and that was marriage. That wasn't out there with people being killed and their faces ripped off and shit. So, um, I think in the past, she's never really stood out to me, but I think again in these last couple of rewatches, I've started to like her more because I feel like she's a little bit relatable, and there's a human side to her there that sometimes with Final Girls, um, they have to be so badass all the way through that human element gets taken out. But I think for her, it's there, and I like that about that.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's like this reminds me of another situation we talked about in the past. Um, Sienna from Terrifier. In Terrifier 2, it took a while for her to grow on me because the first time we watched it, I didn't really like her because she had a lot of nervous energy and like anxiousness. But I kind of felt like I could relate to her because of that, because I went through like a lot of anxiety and stuff. So I was like, well, I couldn't be in that position kind of thing. So like I was having a hard time like rooting for her, I guess. But then like I grew to love her and like she is badass in my eyes now. But I don't know, just kind of another situation where someone is one of our final girls has like actual human moments,
Yeah.
I guess.
Human problems.
Yeah, real life problems.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Um, Kind of starting to wrap the movie up a little bit. I mean, of course, then I think Crowley finally ends up killing Marcus. The ending of the film is where I wanted to get to with this. So when it looks like Ben and Mary Beth have survived and they've made it, and then they get on this boat and she falls overboard and she sees his hand coming down in the water to save her, and she gets a hold of it, and then you find out that it's Victor Crowley and he's got Ben's arm there, and Ben's laying there dying. Do you guys like the ending? What are your thoughts on the end?
I liked it. It reminded me of the ending of Friday the 13th with the big canoe scare or whatever. So
Mhm.
I think I liked that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that like within the last 20 minutes of this movie is usually where my problems start to lie with it. Because one of the issues I had last time with this movie, watching through, was that it's a lot of we're running, we're running, we're running, we're gonna stop and we're gonna talk for a couple of seconds. Peekaboo, boo, it's
Yeah.
Hatchet face. Oh, we're running, we're running, we're running. And like the locations never quite change enough to differentiate from the last one.
Right.
So there's like this kind of rinse and repeat action going on. I didn't have that problem as much as I did the last time. So it kind of eased up for me a little bit on this rewatch. But yeah, it's 100% straight ripoff of. Well, it's a homage.
I was gonna say, does it have to be a ripoff or can it be a homage though? Like,
I mean, it's even down to the musical choice. Like
Yeah.
the score is very similar. Just the outcome's a little different. But yes, it's still whenever she comes up and Hatchet faces like full front center of the screen and
Right.
that close up, it still freaks me out.
yeah,
Like even watching it today, I was like, ugh, no, thank you.
I like Ben's bloody body in the boat too. After,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like it as well. And I think so. I see what you're saying, Brendan, because I think I felt the same way. I kind of feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit on some of this, but the first few times I saw this movie, I felt the same way. I thought it was so repetitive, especially by the end. It's just the same things happening over and over now. And I think that used to bug me about this. And I'm the exact same way. For some reason, it doesn't bother me quite as much now. Um, I mean, I still think it gets repetitive. It just doesn't affect me as much. But I do like the very end there, because I don't think even the first time that's not what I expected. I mean, I thought Ben was being a hero and pulling her out of the water. I mean, I didn't expect it to be what it was. And then I had actually forgot about it until my rewatch a couple of days ago. And I was sitting there and I'm watching this and I'm like, something happens, but I don't remember what it was. Like I really can't remember where this is going, but I know it's something. And then when it happens, I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's what it was. So I like the ending. I like the way that goes and still enjoy it. And I just think it fits with the entire tone of the film. I mean, it sums up basically everything that you've just been watching for the last hour and a half pretty well. I mean, it is what it is. So I enjoy it. Yeah, that's where I guess I stand on the end of it. Before we rate it, is there anything else either one of you want to talk about, or anything else you want to say about this first Hatchet film?
no, I think it's a good horror comedy. I love the backwoods feel of it. I really like the backstory that we have for Victor Crowley too. It's like it makes you sympathize with him for a moment there, and then you kind of like root for him for all these kills because, like, I don't know, you want him to kill Misty and stuff, right? So I think it's a good time. I definitely need to give it another shot, maybe when I'm like more like in the zone to watch a slasher movie, I guess. I'm really excited to watch the next one because I already forget what even happens in that movie. So
Okay.
Yeah, I remember. This I think it's a good entry. I think we needed we seem to have forgotten about Kane Hodder and his dramatic role, which I think actually he nails Victor Crowley's father in this movie.
He really does. I agree.
Yeah, and I know he gets a little more in the next one and a little more in the next one to show off his acting chops, and I think he does a fantastic job. But we got to give like a huge shout out to whoever did the special effects on this movie because they all still hold up. It's all practical and it all looks fantastic. When you're getting close-ups of Victor Crowley's face, it is so disgusting and still freaks me out. And the gore is still over the top, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I think you talking about the way Crowley looks, I think because a lot of these slasher movies, you do root for the killer, right? Like you want to see when you watch these, you watch them to see Jason kill these people, or Michael, or Chucky, Freddy, whoever it is. You're watching for the kills, like you're watching because you want them to kill these people. Victor Crowley looks so I don't know the word I'm looking for, just rough. I mean, he looks so bad, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it looks great, but it's so bad that I have a hard time even rooting for him. I'm just like, it's so uncomfortable looking at his face. I don't want this guy to kill anybody. I want everybody to get the hell away from him so I don't have to see him anymore. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. But again, I think the movie is so much fun. A lot of times, I've said this before. Horror comedies don't always land for me. I'm not always big on horror comedies, and this one does. I really like this one. I crack up, and then I enjoy the kills, and I enjoy the gore and the special effects, and yeah, it's not perfect. It's got a few problems here and there, but overall, I really like this movie much more than I thought I did. So yeah, I'll say that on it. So for my rating, I don't know if you guys know this or not because it's only been on two recordings and they both come out this week, so you haven't got to see one yet. So I used to do 1 to 5. And when I've gone through these franchises, that's difficult when I'm trying to go back and then rank them because I may have so many that I give like a 3.5 or 4, and they're all right there with the same number. And I had a hard time then putting it in order. So I have changed my rating scale to a 1 to 10 just to give me a little more room to differentiate things there a little bit. And like I said, I've only done it with Rosemary's Baby and with House of a Thousand Corpses, and both those episodes will be coming out in the next few days. So, um, scale of 1 to 10, where would you rank Hatchet?
I think I'm gonna go with 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I do have a good time with this movie. Like I love the kills. I like the comedy. I like the cast. Just today, like before this, I probably would have rated it maybe an 8 or 9, but I don't know. Something didn't hit as hard today, and I don't know what it is, but it could be all those factors that I said earlier. What about you?
Okay. That's funny. I'm actually teetering between a 6.5 and a 7.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to go with a 6.5 because even though I didn't notice the repetitiveness of it on this watch doesn't mean I'm not going to notice it the next time I watch it. So that is definitely going to play a huge factor for me. I do think like it's a funny script. I think the acting's all cheesy and charming and 80s throwback. This is my type of movie. That being said, that doesn't mean it's a perfect movie in my
Right.
opinion. So I think I'm going to stick with a 6.5.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, for me, again, I've talked about not being a fan of this in the beginning. If I would have been doing something the first few times I saw this, I probably would have put it around a 5, maybe a 6 if I was feeling generous. It had some things I liked, but there was a lot I didn't like, and that's changed now to where there's a lot more I like about it than not. Um, it's not a perfect movie. It's still not a Friday the 13th or a Halloween or a Nightmare on Elm Street or anything like that for me. Um, Misty can be annoying. Sometimes the repetitiveness bothers me, sometimes it doesn't. But I think I would still say a 7.5. I'll go just a little bit higher because most of this movie I really enjoy and have a lot of fun with. It's just a few things here and there that bother me, and sometimes they bother me, sometimes they don't. But I think I would say a 7.5. Um, yeah, 7.5.
All pretty
I'm
cool.
really looking forward to covering the rest of these with you guys. I don't remember. I remember Danielle Harris is in. Is she in two of them? She's not in Victor Crowley, right? She's in 2 and 3, if I remember
Yeah.
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of them, um, and I really can't remember which one, but I feel like one of them isn't Tony Todd's character, Reverend Zombie, part of the group that's out there looking for him. 2.
2.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I knew that
Dude,
was somewhere. I just couldn't remember which one.
We got Derek Mears too. Is that in 3?
2, I think.
2?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure 2 is where they hire like the mercenaries to go in and hunt them down.
Okay. And Felissa
Okay.
Rose is in Victor
Victor
Crawley.
Crowley. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
So
only one I can't
I'm looking
remember is
forward to
3.
covering these.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
No, I appreciate you guys coming on. So we'll just yeah, we'll touch bases here in the next week or so to see when y'all want to come back on to do the second one. But yeah, thank you so much again for coming on, and I'll let you plug your channel one more time and talk about what's coming up on your thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. What do we have going on that week?
What's the movie called? Repo.
Repo Man, the genetic opera or something like that.
Yeah, it was a listener request, so we're gonna be doing a live on that. That's really all I have like scheduled at the moment from when this comes out. But we'll probably be doing another physical media account in there somewhere.
Yeah, physical media accounts are once a week usually. We're just coming up on all the boutique. Well, we are on the boutique labels now.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah. And if you are from our channel coming over and listening, subscribe to Sean so he can start doing lives when he hits that 50 mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Is 50? Is that what it is that you have to hit?
And yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny because I think normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to go look right now. Last time I checked, I think I am sitting at
58.
49.
48.
49.
49.
So
Nice.
close.
49.
You might
Yeah.
even hit this by the time it comes out.
Yeah, so possible. Yeah. And yeah, I look forward to doing some of those. So, what I've got coming up is I think the next episode is going to be Don't Breathe. It's the next one I'm doing. Aaron from A and B Horror Movies and I are going to be collaborating again in the future. He's asked me to come on his channel. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but I'll be coming on his channel in the future. Bo is supposed to be getting on with me. I think Bo and I are going to talk about Hereditary coming up in the near future. He was going to come on and do my Halloween recap with me, and then he ended up being out of town when I was recording, and so he didn't get to do that. So he's going to come on and talk about Hereditary with me. I'm also going to be doing a couple of first time watches. The original, the Amityville Horror, I've never seen the original. I'm going to watch it and talk about it. And Grave Encounters, I've never seen. So
I love Grave Encounters.
I'm going to watch it and be talking about it in the future as well. So that's kind of what I've got coming up. But yeah, thank you guys again for coming on. I really appreciate it. And we'll get you back here pretty soon and talk about Hatchet 2.
Awesome.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Yeah. All right. Thank everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button. I need apparently just one more, and then we'll see what kind of live damage I can do. So, yeah, hit the subscribe button for me. Follow me on social media. Pretty much everything is Sean's Horror Corner, Blue Sky, X, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, I try to follow back as much as possible. So that'll wrap this episode up, and I'll see you in a few days to talk about Don't Breathe.
Bye.